Hello friends, this is my first product review that's not directly related to paddles, so this will be a diversion from my norm. But I think this particular red light therapy device by Kineon has a lot of potential and scientific backing for recovery and injury prevention for exactly the types of injuries that everyone gets from playing pickleball. So stick around and find out the science supporting the healing properties of red light therapy, the specific light sources and wavelengths of the Kineon Move Plus that promote deep tissue healing, and how effective this device has been on my personal recovery and wellness. Before I get into the specs of the Move Plus, let me briefly introduce red light therapy and some of the science behind it. Technically, it's known as low-level laser therapy or photobiomodulation. Way back in 1903, a Nobel Prize was awarded to Dr. Niels Finsen for discovering that light radiation could be used to treat skin disorders like lupus. But it wasn't until the 1960s that the benefits of near-infrared light started to be discovered, and after NASA started experimenting with near-infrared light therapy for the space station astronauts, over 400 peer-reviewed studies have been published on red light therapy. So, how does red light therapy work, and what does it work on? In most scientific studies, laser or LED lights are used in a power range of 10 to 500 milliwatts, and the light is in the red or the near-infrared spectrum, so 660 to 905 nanometers. These particular wavelengths have the ability to penetrate through the skin and deep into soft tissues. The main therapeutic effects are reducing inflammation, pain relief, and healing of acute and chronic injuries. I won't get too in the weeds here, but red and near-infrared light triggers biochemical changes within our cells that, in a way, mimics photosynthesis in plants. So with red light therapy, the photons are absorbed by cellular photoreceptors, which then trigger chemical changes. Basically, red light therapy stimulates the mitochondria in your cells, which upregulates growth factors and results in more rapid healing. More specifically, the scientific literature shows that red light therapy forms new blood vessels. It also improves existing blood vessels and increases collagen synthesis, which in turn heals tissue damage. It also reduces inflammation and pain. But don't just take my word for it. There are hundreds of scientific studies out there you can read for yourself supporting the really wide-ranging health benefits of red light therapy. And here's what Andrew Huberman had to say. He's a neuroscientist and associate professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at the Stanford University School of Medicine.
So if you've heard of red light or near-infrared light therapies, that is not pseudoscience. That is not woo science. That is grounded in the very biology of how light interacts with mitochondria and reactive oxygen species.
Okay, so let's take a closer look specifically at the Kineon Move Plus device. The Move Plus isn't like the dozens of $50 red light products you can get on Amazon. The thing that makes the Move Plus stand out from the many other red light therapy devices is that it combines LED and laser lights, and both are tuned to different red and near-infrared wavelengths. LED lights only penetrate the top layers of skin on the order of a couple of millimeters, but laser lights can go centimeters into the tissue to help heal deep into the joints. The Move Plus combines 8 LEDs and 10 lasers. Due to the difference in the lighting characteristics between the LED and laser, they adjusted the optical power of the two light sources to balance the dose in the tissue, adjusting the LEDs to 80 milliwatts over centimeter squared and the lasers to 5 milliwatts. That makes the power output more than adequate, which is especially impressive for a portable battery-powered device. In fact, a scientific study published last year in the Journal of Biomedical Optics to see if the lights penetrated into the deep tissues of the knee and found that when the pods are placed on either side of the kneecap, the light penetrates down to the deepest parts of the knee like the ACL, the cartilage around the end of the femur, and the meniscus. The lasers and LEDs are also set to different wavelengths within the red and near-infrared spectrum. I used a spectrometer to measure the light wavelengths emitted by the Move Plus, and you can see from these results that there are two peaks, both within the red and near-infrared spectrum. The broader peak on the left is for the LED lights, which peak at 660 nanometers, and the more vertical peak on the right is for the lasers, which peak at 808 nanometers. The 808 nanometer wavelength is the most impactful for tissue healing and cellular regeneration in several clinical trials. This wavelength is especially effective in reducing pain and inflammation deep in the joints associated with osteoarthritis. Not only does it reduce pain, but it also promotes tissue regeneration. So that means the lasers tuned to the 808 nanometer wavelength are especially effective on the knees, elbows, shoulders, and ankles. The Move Plus is entirely portable, which is a huge perk compared to other devices that are too bulky or you have to plug into a wall. It comes with an adjustable strap that holds 3 modular pods, and the lights snap in and out of the strap, and you can charge them in a portable carrying case with a USB-C cable. So the default strap that comes with the device is designed to go around big joints, so it fits nicely around the knees and the elbows, and you can use it on most other body parts. I just draped it over my shoulder when I used it there, and I put it on a pillow and then stepped on it to treat the bottom of my foot. They also make a larger strap that you can use around your torso for treating things like your lower back. I will say that there is room for more adapters for different body parts. The small strap isn't quite small enough to stay secure around your wrists and ankles, for example, and it'd be nice to have a bracelet-sized strap. Yes, you can cinch the existing strap all the way up to get it to fit, but then there's these long straps hanging off. Also, it'd be cool if you could activate the lights while they're in the charger and then use that charger like a block. As it's currently designed, the lights turn off automatically when you put them into the charging port. But if you could use the lights and they would turn on in the block, then that would be perfect for treating things like your feet or putting that block on a pillow and then laying down on it to treat the back of your neck or your upper back, for example. There's a little display on the back of each pod where you can change the treatment time from 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. 15 minutes is the recommended treatment time for treating deep into the joints and muscles, while shorter times are recommended for skin or surface treatment. So it's really simple to use. Once you choose the time, you just press the button on the back of one of the pods, and then all 3 pods are activated because they're connected to each other by Bluetooth. And they automatically all turn off after 15 minutes or whatever time you set it at. So how much is the Move Plus? It retails for $699, but it's currently on sale for $499. And you can stack my code JohnQ on that for an additional 10% off. They also have a 1-year warranty and a love it or leave it policy where you can return it for a full refund within a month. I spent most of last year with various nagging injuries, some acute and some chronic. At that time, I told myself that I wouldn't take my health for granted and that I'd prioritize healing, recovery, and staying injury-free in 2024. So I started a new strength training and mobility regimen at the gym and started prioritizing warm-ups and active stretching before any games. When I started reading up on the benefits of red light therapy, I wanted to see if it could help me with injury recovery and prevention. So when I got the Kineon Move Plus, I started a diary to monitor my pain and recovery levels. At that time, I had a few nagging spots with chronic or even acute pain. So I had chronic pain from old injuries and early symptoms of arthritis in my right knee, both feet, right shoulders, and my left elbow. More specifically, last year I injured my right knee in a tournament. So I tore my meniscus and ruptured the patellar tendon. While doing the MRI, the doctor also saw some incipient arthritis in the knee. Both of my feet also had incipient arthritis around the metatarsal collateral ligaments, which started in my left foot and then spread to my right foot when I started favoring it. So between my feet and my knee, the pain was debilitating for a while, and I was actually not really having much fun anymore playing pickleball, just from the pain and its effect on my mobility and performance. I also had chronic issues in my right shoulder from too many years of lifting weights in the gym. Mostly impingements and rotator cuff issues, but there was often a low-level pain that would flare up when I hit a hard overhead. And my left elbow was also hurting from weightlifting and was becoming more aggravated when playing pickleball. And when I got the Move Plus device, I had just strained my right tricep just above the elbow. I had gotten that injury from a hard overhead put away, and I was nursing it for a couple of weeks, during which time it had gotten so painful that I was planning on taking a couple of weeks off to recover. So yes, I was a mess, and a perfect test subject to see how effective the Kineon Move Plus is for various injuries. So I started off by grading the pain levels in each of these spots on a scale from 1 to 10, and then charted my progress daily while using the Move Plus. You can see from the data that when I started using the Move Plus, my most painful spot was my right tricep, just above the elbow, where I injured it 2 weeks prior hitting that heavy overhead. I rated the pain at an 8 out of 10. As you can see in this chart, that injury saw a very steep drop in pain and a speedy recovery after I started using the Move Plus. You can see that after just 4 days, the pain levels had dropped from an 8 to a 2, and after 17 days, the pain was completely gone. So during this period, while I was keeping a diary of my Move Plus experience, I strained my left hamstring while squatting low, doing a two-handed backhand dink roll. That happened on March 31st, and similar to my tricep injury, most of the pain went away after just 4 days using the Move Plus, and by 16 days, the pain was gone. My left elbow also started out pretty bad with a pain level of 5. It didn't heal quite as fast as the right tricep and hamstring, but within a month, the pain was gone. This was more of a chronic injury that was inflamed by weightlifting, and as we'll see, chronic injuries seem to take longer to heal than more acute ones. My right shoulder started at a 4, and within 19 days, the pain there was gone. So now let's look at the more chronic injuries. Like I said, my right knee was pretty messed up from a torn meniscus and a ruptured patellar tendon last year. I had gone through physical therapy and had recovered, but it was still giving me this low-grade pain that basically I had just resigned myself to live with. But as you can see from this chart, there was a steady decline in pain in my knee, and within a month, I had 0 pain. Honestly, I would have never thought that this could have happened with the level of knee injuries that I had sustained just last year. And I've been using the Move Plus on my knee daily, and now, more than 2 months later, the pain is still flatlining at 0. I'll occasionally feel a slight twinge after several hours of playing, but I'm good as new the day after a session with the Move Plus. My feet, on the other hand, haven't responded quite as well to red light therapy. I've been getting cortisone shots every 6 months to moderate that pain and inflammation in my feet. You can see the pain in my left foot started small at a 2 and dropped to a 1 shortly after using the Move Plus, where it's remained for a month. Now, after 2 months later, the pain has increased in my left foot to about a 5 or a 6. More on that in a minute. And you can see my right foot started worse off at a 3. Treatment initially worked, but at about the 2-week mark, the pain started increasing, and I ended up where I started off at a pain level of 3 after a month. Shortly after this, the pain started increasing again, and I had to go in for another cortisone shot. Now the pain in my right foot is at a 0, and I plan to consistently use the Move Plus on this foot even without pain, so it doesn't get worse. And for the left foot, I'll probably have to go in again for another cortisone shot. But the Move Plus has allowed me to stretch the interval between shots on my left foot from 6 to 7 months. And eventually I hope to eliminate the shots altogether. So yeah, the Move Plus has been kind of a game changer for me. Besides my feet, it's been tremendously helpful in every other part of my body that was giving me problems. The best way I can describe the effects is that it feels like I've turned back the clock 20 years on my healing and recovery. Back in my 20s and 30s, I'd strain a muscle or twist an ankle, and I'd be all better a few days later. Fast forward to my 50s, and the same injuries will take weeks or even months to heal. And suffering with injuries for that long tends to lead to even more injuries because your body tries to accommodate injuries on one side of your body and puts more stress on the other side of your body, creating injuries on that side as well. But in contrast, the strains I had on my right tricep and my hamstring were nearly gone in just a few days while using the Move Plus and were eliminated in just a couple of weeks. Now, I don't think this device will heal everything for everyone, obviously. Like I said, it's not working as well on my feet, and I imagine there are other injuries that it's not as effective on, especially really chronic ones like advanced arthritis. But man, I am duly impressed with this little device, and now it's a staple in my daily routine. I'm also impressed with the Kineon staff. I spoke with Forrest, the CEO and founder of the company, and he's not just some guy who cobbled together some spare parts to make a red light therapy device. He's actually extremely knowledgeable about the science behind it, and he's spent a lot of time researching it, and he's passionate about improving the quality of life for as many people as possible. So a lot of time and research has gone into this product. And there's really no other product on the market that can effectively treat the types of injuries we all get playing pickleball. Its use of lasers, which penetrate deep into joints or muscles at the 808 nanometer near-infrared spectrum, is currently not found in any other device that you'd find outside of a clinic. And the mobile design of the Move Plus makes it really easy to work into your daily routine. I use it in the morning while I'm eating breakfast and answering emails, and I just rotate it around to different parts when it reaches the end of its 15-minute cycle. Or I'll also use it when I'm driving to games, and I'll even bring it to tournaments to help me get through several hours of matches. You can use it up to 2 times per day for each body part. The last thing I want to mention is that several weeks ago, I mentioned the Move Plus on my podcast, and a few listeners purchased one. And I've gotten great feedback from some of these people, including one subscriber, Ben, who said that his wife was suffering from severe tennis elbow to the point where she was considering withdrawing from a tournament where she was registered in the 5.0 bracket. But after only a few sessions with the Move Plus, she recovered enough to go on to win silver. So with all of the scientific backing, personal experience, and other testimonials, I can absolutely recommend the Kineon Move Plus to anyone looking to treat and prevent the types of injuries we all suffer from time to time on a pickleball court. As I mentioned earlier, you can get the Move Plus on sale right now for $499, and you can stack it with my code JohnQ for an additional 10% off, bringing the price down to $450. I'll put a purchase link in the description. All right, that is it for this video. If you do end up getting a Move Plus, or if you already have one, please let me know your experience with it in the comments section. As always, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.